welcome back to Speak Freely. Here we celebrate the freedom of speech, and today we are going to be talking about fake woke. So Tom MacDonald recently went viral for his new song Fake Woke. I actually responded and reacted to that song on my other channel called Mika Reacts and Reviews, and yeah, I got a lot of good responses, so that's a nice feeling. But anyway, Tom MacDonald recently was even interviewed by Fox News, which I'm kind of like, ugh. Like he doesn't have enough hate as it is. But yeah, let's talk about fake woke and what it means to me. Tom MacDonald didn't originate the term fake woke. It was kind of out there already, but I guess he made it viral. He made it popular. And so fake woke for me and for a lot of people basically means performative. It's like a performative wokeness. It's a performative activism, or even performative pandering. It's like when Nancy Pelosi and her crew like took a knee with dashiki around their neck, like really? Or when Hillary Clinton talked with a southern slang or had hot sauce in her bag, or when Kamala Harrison talks about smoking weed even though she put a lot of people in jail for the same exact action, or wear Timberlands or something like that. It's this sort of performative pandering, which for some reason a lot of people love. The society we live in is all about performative actions. Like if you just say the right things and do the right actions in public, that's all you really need to do. You don't actually have to do any action to be a good person. You just have to say the right things and do the right things. Like again, Joe Biden, who just became president, was in office for 50 years and actually done things that very much hurt the black community, dismantled the black community, but all he has to do is do an interview with Cardi B, and all of that is just her erased and forgotten because he's performing for you. He's pandering to you. It's the same whole thing with the goddamn Democratic Party, who every 2 to 4 years they perform, they pander, and it works, and then we go another 2 to 4 years complaining about the society and the system that they created and that they built. But right now, especially with social media, pandering, performing, being a fake woke, being a fake activist is basically clout. It's a way to gain clout these days. It's sort of the whole LARPing or grifting from one side or the other, thinking which group can I pander to get their views, to get their likes, and somehow try to make some sort of money off of it and make a name for myself. It's the same people who put black boxes in their Instagram and Twitter feed and have really no idea what it really meant, or people who put BLM in their Twitter feed or put on BLM shirts without actually doing any research about the BLM organization whatsoever. The same people who scream defund the police, who never sat down 1 second and even thought about what the implications that would be for those communities who are no longer being policed, even though they have a high crime rate in the most vulnerable communities. It's the same people who spout out that they believe that little kids, 5-year-olds, should be able to change their gender, stop their puberty, and take hormones without actually ever doing any research whatsoever on the implications of that or the long-term effects of that. It's the same people who spout body positivity without knowing and really understanding the implications and the cause and effects of the damage that obesity does to one's body, especially when they try to do the intersectionality thing and talk about bigger black women, not realizing that the black community has been dealing with the diabetes for a really long time, and it's a big issue in the black community. If people really cared about the communities that they say that they're activism for or they're woke for, then they would actually know these things. They would have all this information and all this knowledge behind it, so they can make sure they're saying the right things and not actually saying something that would actually harm the communities that they say they're activating or whatever, being the mouthpiece for. So a lot of it is just clout. I'm not saying that no one in their youth or in their heads in a cloud sort of idealistic way aren't saying things because they really feel like it's the right thing to say, but at some point, if you really care, you will put the knowledge behind that, right? You wouldn't just be saying things just because it's viral and just because people in your circle are saying it. But let's be honest, a lot of it is just to get clout. It's just to get views. It's just to get liked. likes, and it's just to be liked. And a lot of people make full-blown freaking careers out of performative wokeness, and it's annoying. And I think that at the end of the day, it does a lot more damage than it does good, because you can even enact policies that again hurt the communities that you say that you're the voice for, like defunding the police, or like even implementing things like critical race theory. Like if you read what critical race theory is, it is highly toxic. Like telling black people that the idea of working hard and being persistent and having a schedule is a white patriarchal idea, and not only will you fail at even the attempt of doing that, is completely damaging to you. Like, what kind of mentality is that? But people will simply just support critical race theory without ever actually looking at it, without ever actually reading it and understanding what it really is. It's just because it sounds good. Being anti-racist sounds good, but anti-racist is basically being racist, judging people based off the color of their skin instead of the content of their character. So if you see a black person, dumb down your speech because you don't want to seem like a white supremacist, so talk more stupid because they don't have the same language skills as everybody else. Or just assume you know a black person's lived experiences just because they're black. Just assume you know somebody's ideology just because they're trans. Just assume you know what somebody's gonna vote for just because they're gay. I mean, that's not the whole anti-racist thing, but it kind of goes along with that. And again, it sounds good. Yeah, what's better than being against racism, anti-racist, when you don't actually look into it whatsoever? Not to mention, I have hung out with some of the most wokest of woke, self-proclaimed male feminists, socialists, progressives, and the fucking planet. If you hang out with them long enough, they are some of the biggest assholes I've ever met. They're so hypocritical. They double speak. They speak out the side of their mouths. They are always practicing the bigotry of low expectations. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Like, in some ways they are racist. A lot of the times they're just like the good racists because they're being anti-racist or something like that. They're not. And then it's the same thing, and it's been going on for a long time, where liberals and progressives always proclaim that they're the most tolerant of the world and they're the most open. They're not. You're tolerant to those who have the same ideology as you. You're tolerant to those who have the same mindset as you, the same think as you, the same tribe as you. That is who you're tolerant for. You're not empathetic. You're empathetic to the selected groups you think that deserve your empathy. And that's not real empathy if it's selected empathy. So no, these fake wokes aren't woke. They're just saying the right things. They're performing the way they think society wants them to perform. They're got the right vernacular and they're saying the right pronouns. But some of them are the biggest douchebags I've ever met. And it's shockingly how like unaware some of these people are. Like, dude, did you hear what you just said? That was racist, but they proclaim that they're the most non-racist person because they say the right stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's the amount of times where I like sat down in a freaking conversation and a bunch of white people turn to me, but like, Shamika, what do you think though? Like, as a black woman, as a person of color, like, fuck off. Like, fuck off. Like, are you serious? That is how you're woke? To treat me like I'm an other? Like, I'm sorry. It's fake. A lot of it's pandering, a lot of it's performance, whether they actually believe that they are these good-ass people or not. A lot of it is very surface because they never actually put any foot to ground to actually make any change. They never actually put themselves in a position where they can actually make real change. And they never actually stop for 1 second to educate themselves on the things that they espouse. They're just saying stuff because it's just the thing and the right thing to say at the moment. Alright, so I am basically squeezing this part in. This is the same day I recorded the video, but it's later in the day. That's why I have another shirt on and the lighting is different, and I didn't feel like changing into the shirt and pretending that I didn't stop and resume. But I just thought about something as I was going out and getting my fresh squeezed watermelon juice, or freshly blended. Really good, no sugar added, but very tasty. Anyway, about the fake woke thing, I think another reason why a lot of people consider it fake woke because they're not consistent. They're not consistent with what they say they stand for and the principles that they stand by. Let's say gay pride or LGBTQ plus, right? They'll talk about it all day, every day when it comes to, you know, first world issues like pronouns and non-binary, and call you a bigot and you should be canceled for not thinking their same ideas of gender, what gender dysphoria is, or even believing you have to have gender dysphoria just to be trans because it's in the name, to transition. But whatever, that's a completely different video. But if you bring up LGBTQ rights when it comes to other countries like in the Middle East, or in certain countries where they literally still get stoned today, they completely shut down. They don't want to talk about it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Nope, that's not my thing. You're lying. That's propaganda. Blah, 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 blah. Just ignore, run away, right? But I thought you cared about LGBTQ plus rights. I thought that was your whole platform. I thought that's what you stood by. Is in your bio. You're a blue checkmark Twitter activist. Why wouldn't you want to have those conversations about the LGBTQ rights in other countries? You know why? Because they're attached to religions where they think that everyone who is Muslim is brown, which is not true, actually. Or when they say they stand for women's rights, or again, pride, LGBTQ plus rights, or black rights. But then if you are someone who is black, or female, or bi, or gay, or trans, and you don't have the same thoughts, the right thoughts, if you don't have the same ideology, the same belief, then they don't care about anything you have to say. They'll sit there and preach all day, every day to give black people spaces to voice their lived experiences. But when I say that I think your narrative is bullshit and hurting the black community, then I'm an Uncle Tom. Then I'm a bad wench. They never stick by the principles and the standards that they say they have. It's not about I care about black people. It's not about I care about trans people, or I care about gay rights. It's not about I care about women, or I care about fat positivity. It's not about any of those things. It's I want my ideology to win. I want my ideology to be the one that gets all the power. It's about, are you a part of my tribe? So like, to me, that's fake woke. Because you're not consistent. If I'm fighting for LGBTQ plus rights, I do that across the board. It's not like, well, if you're from this country and you're part of that religion, then I won't speak up about it. If I think that, you know, trans people should have a voice to voice their concerns, I'm not going to only want to listen to a Blair White. I'll listen to a Blair White and I'll listen to a counterpoints. Because I want to see both sides of the story. They both have a right to say that what they feel and what they think is the utmost important issues in their community. But a lot of people on the left, a lot of people that say that they're woke, they're not. It's about their ideology or about some type of clout or clout chasing or clout clamming. You know, just trying to fit into their tribe or seem relevant. It's not real. It's not consistent. It's not real hardcore standards where you have a strong foundation to it, because it will flip-flop whenever the wrong thing or the right thing changes. Remember the pussy hats, and all of a sudden you couldn't wear pussy hats because all women don't have pink pussies? It's just switching all the time and changing all the time. They don't actually know what really they believe in, as long as they're saying what the right word to say at this time, at this moment. And they'll switch it whenever they're told to, or whenever it's not relevant anymore, whenever it doesn't serve their purpose anymore. It's another example of fake woke. Now I'm going to go back in time, and you're going to see the video, the rest of the video that I shot before, and I just wanted to kind of put this part in there. Alright, bye. Yeah, like, I just think that's basically what fake woke is. People that's being sort of pseudo-intellectual or pseudo-activist or whatever, like with the spiritual as fuck comic guy who puts on the comedic skits. He once says that even political correctness have basically replaced the actual act of being a kind person. Just say the right things, move the right direction, you know, put up the right things in your bio, and then you're magically a good person when you don't actually understand any of the things that you're saying or doing, and all the ideas and organizations that you're actually backing. There is a guy, a black guy, who has a YouTube channel. I think it's like Black Conservative or something like that. I didn't actually watch the entire channel or video. I'm going to react to it later. But I kind of got the idea what the video was. It was a woman who, and I know about her because I saw her making her rounds like a year or so ago. She kind of is one of those people who kind of like helped spearhead the sort of anti-racist critical race theory idea, where she's just a white woman who wrote a book saying that she was racist and made millions of dollars, and the title of his video is "White Woman Admits She's Racist, Make Millions." And it's like, what did she actually do? She sat down and she perpetually apologized for being white and then wagged her fingers at white people, and she made millions off of that. People make whole careers at just performing. I'm not saying it's everybody. And I think a lot of these people are well intent but just ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I just mean not informed. I don't mean it as an insult. But like, enough is enough already. Stop thinking just because you have the right terminology that you have a right to be self-righteous above somebody else. Just because you're pandering to the right community or the right group of people doesn't make you better than anybody else. Like, if you really care about the communities that you say you care about, go educate yourself and understand why you support what you support. I don't know. Like, when I was younger, woke meant that you understood that it was the higher ups, it was the government, it was the media, it was the people controlling the government that was the ones that was actually dividing the country. That was what woke meant before. But now for some reason, woke means hate your neighbor and love the government. I don't really get it, but whatever. You know, this idea like wokeness is finally understanding what racism is or feminism is or sexism is. It's like, no, like, all this stuff is not woke. This stuff has been said many times before for decades. You are just using different words and vernacular and getting a big giant pat on the back for it. Should you believe in equal rights between men and women? Yes, that should be a given. You shouldn't be like giving like your smoke blown up your ass just because you believe in that. Anyway, that is my definition of fake woke. To me, it's just sort of like a performative panderingness that has basically taken off, especially on social media, and people have literally created entire identities around it. Yeah, so that's it. If you want to check out my review, my reaction to the Fake Woke, the song by Tom McDonald's, please click on the link below to my new channel, Mika Reacts and Reviews, and please subscribe if you feel to do so. Please like, comment, and subscribe in this video. What does fake woke mean to you? Please comment. If you think I am full of shit, Uncle Tom, or a bad wench, please let me know so we can all laugh and point at your ignorance. Again, like, comment, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. And thank you guys. Bye.